And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Victoria 3 as the United States. We're slowly growing in Africa, apparently mostly in North Africa. Well, sort of Sahara Desert area. Is Morocco recognized? No, but they're part of the British Empire, and apparently they have colonization capacity to them. So we're going to get cut off eventually, so what's going to end up happening here. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to get cut off. That means we get much more of Africa. I'm probably going to have to start invading people. Because that cutoff is going to happen, I suspect. And we don't have the stuff to do the very, very bad malaria yet. We're up to 10, we're up to 100 million. We're not quite exponential yet, although that may begin to fix itself. We're running a deficit, we have a debt, but both of those aren't necessarily concerns. The Petit Bourgeoisie do currently like us, although if we had them like us more, they'd give us loan interest reduction, which would be pretty useful. That would stack with our existing stuff, and we get pretty close to 0% loans. Yeah, because that brings us up to negative 97%. Or, yeah, 95%. Maybe 75% already. Yeah, so I think we can just unpause and let some time pass. We've got a little bit of infamy, but once we clear that infamy, we can probably just start invading more countries to get more of Africa. That's one way to expand. Is Benin? Benin would probably be a good one if they're not a subject to someone. They're not a subject to someone, so we may go after them next. And then the other thing to do, right, is as the investment pool grows, grow construction, so more and more construction can be done via the public investment pool. Currently, it's running about 70% of our construction. We're on laissez-faire, so it can run 75%. Here's some first concrete. This is going to give us more construction sector throughput, which means at least in the short run, it's going to favor government construction a little bit more. Got open hearth, followed by rotary valve next. Okay. I suppose if I really want to get oil going, I need, like, vacuum canning, so that's on the logic. Oh, we got that queued up already. And malaria prevention. Do I want to move malaria prevention up? Yeah, let's kick rotary valve, and we'll kick, you know what? Just do malaria prevention now. It's a bit of, because ahead of time it's going to be a bit expensive, but and then we can backfill. We're going to want the oil first, then the rubber. Steel mill, rotary valve. Thrashing machine, because we're America, may be quite useful. Or someone like China would be particularly useful. I suppose we don't have our own source of silk, so that's not too bad. Well, we may have our own source of dye, we don't have our own source of silk. Oops. Got that one, at least we're done with there. And then probably combustion engines, telephones. Might actually, yeah, let's cut the delay. Okay. I think that's enough for the tech lead there. And yeah, we're America, so other than acquiring resources in Africa and building up industry, we're pretty good to go, I think, at the moment. So we can make our subject a puppet as a prelude to integrating them. We're starting harbor, which is going to allow the trading centers to trade more. Press this again. Yeah. This time from Sweden. Pennsylvania. Okay. And run free trade. So basically everything we can export is a wine plant. Okay, I've got no infamy. Let's start a fight. Somewhat. Benin wouldn't be a terrible choice. No one's gonna come help them. Okay, so African powers may join in. Worst is Spain. Okay, let's not do that, because I don't really want to get Spain involved right now. I don't have the diplomacy to improve relations with Spain, and they're openly hostile to us. Okay. What about you? Anyone gonna come save you? Spain would not come save you. Some African powers may, although the African powers that do are pretty well. It's a different piece. They want to force transit rights. I'd be okay with giving them to them anyway. If we don't win, I'd be fine with giving them. So if this is a fight that we're going to lose, I'd probably just back down and give them that. This is not a fight we're going to lose, so we're just going to win. Oil rush subsides. We'll take the manufacturing through, but I don't think we're needing the oil yet. So if I can sort of work our way around the Great Powers colonizing the coast here, and then get the better, well, get malaria prevention, that's what we're working on right now. We should be able to colonize the interior quicker than they can. Is the plan. Of Africa. That'll get us more people, and because our primary culture now includes Afro-American, or Afro-American, well, this is African diaspora, so this is, from a heritage, is less useful than it used to be. They did nerf it. Of course, we have cultural exclusion, so it's not the worst of worlds for the African nations. Okay, so we won our war. Let's get the Army of Observation over to the war we're fighting right now. Oh, am I still on the old PMs for the farming stuff? Maybe. Here we go. And they run slaughterhouses, okay. So I think the PM should be set reasonably well. Now, at some point, it might be tempting to try to take Sokoto on. Oh, they're too big to take in one go. Okay, that's fair. Maximum social security from the human rights. I suppose we probably don't have enough favor for it yet, but that would open up multiculturalism. Yeah, everyone's either opposed or neutral on the subject at the moment. Although I wouldn't be surprised if it's easy enough to get a anarchist leader if we were to try for that. Or humanitarian. Humanitarian would probably make reasonable sense. Okay, we won that fight. Sind is backing down against Great Britain. Sokoto. Link up the two or push east more. Obviously they got 5 places, so... And of course this is giving the pro-text window, it's not giving me which one's which. Which is probably what I would like to see at this moment. So that's probably the last one we want. That's not a usable one. That's not a usable one. So we either want that one or that one. Who would come in? Great Britain if we asked. Borneo. Yeah, pretty much only Borneo would come in on their end. Okay, so let's confirm that and start the mobilization. Anyway, I could bring in the UK, but unless there's another European power coming in, I can handle the local African forces by themselves. And they got grumpy enough that we lost the admin bonus, of course. We did. Government admin, where don't we have enough taxes? Looks like only Pennsylvania. So we'll put 2 in Pennsylvania. And then I'm still gonna need like another 20. Got the peasants in District Columbia, so we'll put 10 there and 5 in New York. Colonization of Timbuktu is complete. Let's start colonizing the next one. I might actually be colonizing fast enough that we won't get cut off by Morocco. I forgot to add more goals. Whoops! We're only going for one thing. That'll be fine. It's not optimal, but it'll be fine. Does Dahomey have protectors? Maybe. No. Art. More Americans want more art. We're exporting glass, which is fine. Although there's a pretty good demand worldwide for glass, apparently. Paper, clothing. Okay. Yeah, we control the objective there, so it's just a matter of time before that, or at least temporarily ends. We'll have to start back up again as soon as the treaty ends, but... Okay, Private Q could use a little bit more construction. We'll go a little bit more than that. There we go. Back down to 70%, which is probably around where we want them to be. Apparently, the Army of Florida was losing. Good thing we finished the other war up to bring the reinforcements in. Oh, with the extra glass demand, we now have pretty heavy demand for glass. Okay, so I need to make glass. Maybe worth stopping the production on wood in the meantime. Expansion of wood. Yeah, I think it's worth stopping the expansion of wood to get on the glass. We move on to glass. What's our current glass production? 40 each. So we're gonna need like 20 glass makers, 20 levels of glass. Come on, markets. Okay. Domestic. Where we have the most peasants. So North Dakota, Illinois. We're gonna give 10 each. Spread them out a little bit, but not too much. And probably move on to art at that point. We're currently importing art, so that's definitely an argument. We got 270 demand for art, so that's like 40 art levels. Current production rate. We currently already have 49 in Minnesota. Okay. Still gonna put them where we have the most amount of people. Actually, no, let's do Illinois. Put 40 levels in Illinois. Build up another art community there. You know, I'm thinking about how hard it's going to take over Dahomey, and then I'm realizing they're probably like one of the more military prepared nations in Africa. Seeing as they have coastal access. Oh no, they're still feeling irregular infantry job. The Great Train Smash. Yeah, he can go if he wants. Problematic policing. Is in that association? People we would like happy. Let's take the radicals. There's Krakatoa. At least we shouldn't be being hit with it. Send some humanitarian aid. Okay, I'm gonna send the Army of Florida to do a naval landing, because this is apparently the land front here is not moving for whatever reason. Yeah, in theory, apparently they control some of us. There we go. Oh, so that's why the cost for the budget hasn't seemed to be improving. We're taking over more of it as the government. That's fair. Up to 50 or 41%. Private's up to 58%, or down to 58%. Probably need more glass. We just finished the glass, and the answer to why the price hasn't dropped as much is other people are buying it. Almost 200 being sent abroad, although that doesn't quite count for the shortage. It's been another 10 behind the art academies here. And our infamy is already gone. Smoke streams. Oh, I've got random and irregular infantry in here. Okay. Upgrade everything to the modern stuff, please. Assume the army of observation has been inheriting all the armies of the nations have been taken over. Popularity contest. You're a liberal, which means you like the laws we currently have. Fair enough. So, move regressive on that. We don't want to do that. We'd like to move more progressive. Public, which is what we want. I think we've got all the laws we really want. At some point, we probably do want to move towards compulsory primary for more education. And then we don't have an unemployment problem, but we could technically move on to welfare as we run out of subsistence farms. Run out of the proverbial 40 acres and a mule to hand out. When is the treaty with Sokoto too? June 80. Who would be king? Resident California region Joshua Norton has declared himself an emperor. He's begun issuing his own decrees, and people have printed currency with his likeness. Spirit of San Francisco. Popularity, interest group. Okay. Sure. That is one way to get into multiculturalism. We'll see if they win the election. Well, no, they just lost the election, so they're not going to be coming into power. In theory, we could put him as the head of the Petit Bourgeoisie if he was in government, or if the Petit Bourgeoisie was in government. So he is. We go find him. A enlightened royalist, multiculturalist monarchy, supports women's suffrage. Supports the reactionary movement. Could you pick a better movement, please? Oh, and we could reform the government, but this is the stable government, so we're gonna keep this government. Oh, and that would be a real unstable one if we made him part of the government, because he'd be in the head of a party with the traditionalists. And, well, the authoritarian wouldn't be that bad. But yeah, he would not drive the rest of his party. He'd definitely be the most powerful person in that party. But Togo, what buildings are suffering from input good shortage? Transport. We got a transport shortage here. Okay. So is that something I can solve? The best way to do this is going to be market. Generic market, transport, shortages. It's 5 there, 3 there, 3 there, 3 there. Okay. Quickly build the railroads to meet the transport requirements of a lot of the transport building PMs we turned on. Again, this might be another contributor why the income is not super good. It's probably good enough to not. That gave us a queue to build on. Just a few railways. And we're back down to 0 aggressive expansion again, so I should probably start another war. Bornu. I'd like to annex you, Bornu. Anyone gonna come save you? No. Good. Army observation, mobilize, deploy. And yeah, if we take over the couple nations in here, this will get us sort of around the British and we can get into the interior of Africa a little bit quicker. There's malaria prevention. Pennsylvania is having a little bit of a tax issue, okay. Of course, with that means I also do want to do more law, or more, stuff improvements. We want to improve that, we want to improve that, I want to improve that. I need more government bureaucracy. Although some of those I might want to hold off until we can get, telephones. Telephones and central planning. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, there's vacuum canning, which we should just turn on in most cases, I suspect. Because we probably locally have the oil market for that to be pretty heavily used. Yeah, right now all the oil is going abroad. It's a massive supply of local oil. Vacuum back to canning. Not major increase. Mainly because we don't have a lot of meat, apparently. I'm gonna subsidize the tools. That gives us a demand for rubber. It's gonna take some time for the demand for rubber to kick in. Well, the supply to rubber kick in, I suppose. Okay. Subsidies turned on. We'll see how those pull up. Oh, and I need to expand construction some more. Capture light and shadow. Tick spread, migration traction, film. If this was more than 5 years ago for the migration traction, we're gonna go the film instead. Burning ashes. Due to the drop in temperature caused by the volcanic eruption across all of the crops in Maine have been destroyed in subsequent disease outbreak. Okay, it's not good, but it is what it is. While playing no work. We can get rid of him. Well, I'm not necessarily... Yeah, we'll take morale damage. Just morale damage, that's fine. We're not fighting people on our parity at the moment, so that's not a concern. Yeah, almost 40 minutes. We've almost increased the GDP of America by 50%. Well, some of that might be from, you know, conquering countries, I suppose. Not from actual economic growth. Surprised I can't incorporate... Oh, I've already got the one incorporated in colonizing the other one. Fair. More government administration. Just barely enough Minnesota. We'll take another one in Minnesota, and then we'll go... Probably do another 10 in BC. Do another 9 in New York. Oh, and we can hit Green Migration. Population line goes up. Not quite as fast as the GDP line, but that just means people's standards of living are improving. Let's swap another one over. Getting a little close to where we want the... Basically, every time it's going to rise to like 70%, I'm going to raise the... do more transition construction. Oh, and I'm now importing glass. Okay. Good seeking out fixing that. Open Hearth has spread to us. That's good. That's going to get us more steel. It's going to lower the construction costs. And raise the GDP. Okay, I think for the moment we've tamed the beast that is fine art. Although that's still definitely a place where we can definitely get some easy profit. Benin, I'm pretty sure if we were to go to annex, Spain would come in. I don't really want to bother with Spain. Sokoto, we're waiting on another 2 years where we're going to invade. Asana. Why can't I invade Massena? Are they someone's subject? They're the British subject. Can't invade your allies' subjects. Yeah, that would be reasonable. Anyone come and save you? No. Small chance Massena would come in. If they do, then that's way around the British problem. The Despot of St. Petersburg. I don't really want to be anti-Russian. You know, I'll just take that -3 with them. Invade you next. Yeah. Supporting separatism in my subjects. Okay, most of these African powers are not super populous, so they're not necessarily contributing a lot to the population growth. But rapidly building railways to meet that transport need that I talked about earlier. We have a building that's still suffering transport need. Oh no, the penalty is going away. We let the penalty get so bad before we fixed it that it's going to take a while to get fixed. Fair enough. Oh, and we have new places that probably have the penalty. Okay. Spain might join in here. And again, am I really that worried about Spain joining in? Maybe that's the answer I need to be thinking about. Am I worried about Spain? It does not look like a healthy Spain. If we're not worried about Spain, Benin here is the priority. And we'll have to let the infamy after that point come down a little bit, I think, before we can take over Fudo. Well, actually, no, we might be able to take over Fudo. We'll have to come down, let it come down a bit before we can take over Sokoto. Although, Sokoto we can't do until... Well, actually, it was 80, right? So we're getting pretty close. June. Yeah, we'll have to let it come down before we can do some of Sokoto. Raise some more taxes, some consumption tax. Luxury furniture. Colonial Fair is hitting 5, that's nice. Oh, I need more members if we're going to have more than 2 principals. Okay, well, I'd rather have advanced research upgraded then. I was thinking, oh, I should probably start working up the colonial one, but if I'm only allowed 2 types, then I'll do research and do trade. Research and trade. And there's Benin. Yeah, so I could do any of these little bits of coastline. Oceania is apparently being ignored. Yeah, it's mostly Oceania apparently being ignored. Maybe we'll do something in Oceania. Wait, we could try to do that. That'd be such a short coastline. I'm not gonna try. We're gonna try to work through the center of Africa. Hopefully, not getting cut off by the British. And then I was in here for reset production. And then your last one to annex. And again, no one's going to come in to save you. I think I heard someone calling for me, so I'm going to put the part break in here for YouTube. If you're watching YouTube, a little bit of a short one, but we'll have another part up for you tomorrow. We got 80 million in about 47 minutes of gameplay. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.